HRS 777-4477.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Jaguars will be officially calling Orlando home in 2027 as they'll be playing at Camping World Stadium during the construction of Everbank Stadium before returning in 2028. The season will remain in Everbank with a capacity of 42,507 as the facility goes under a $1.4 billion renovation. It's 81 degrees at 2 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Well, it happened to me early this morning. I got by an April Fool's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, post, absolutely. It was a Gators one, and it was like, look at ESPN's new college football rankings. Florida's in the top 10. And I was like, I don't believe this. I don't believe it. And so I clicked on it, and it was April Fool's. Gotcha. And I was like, see, that's what I thought. There's no way Florida's that high.
Yeah,
at this point in time.
Yeah, I got too. It wasn't as extreme, but it was a nice graphic that someone created, and it was one of the Notre Dame platforms that I follow, and they were like a home and home series approved for Notre Dame, Michigan, and it was like 2040 or something, and I almost quote tweeted. I was like, why are we planning games this far ahead? And then I realized it was a joke. So.
Yeah. I didn't get got. I forgot that it was April Fool's Day. But I can remember as a kid, we used to wrap like a rubber band around the sprayer at the sink, the
we
kitchen
would do that
sink.
too.
And my
I'd get my mom every year.
I'd just crush her. We'd laugh.
Yeah.
She would laugh, but we would laugh.
Yeah, we'd put like saran wrap on the toilet, like under the toilet seat in between, because then if you go to pee, the guys, it just splatters everywhere. The girls, it's kind of gross. But we would just like do stupid stuff like that growing up. My family, like growing up, was very like pranking each other anyways on a normal day. So April Fool's Day was honestly kind of scary because you're like, something's going to happen today. I just don't know what.
Do people still practice? I mean, you don't hear too much
Definitely
about
on the
it.
internet.
Do they practice April Fool's Day?
Yeah. It's a holiday for some people. Come on, let's pre-party.
Yeah, it's easy for me to remember. Friends of ours got married 10 years ago today, so happy anniversary to them.
Okay.
It's my grandparents' anniversary too.
That's so
right.
cute.
Yeah.
I'm guessing that April Fool's is more wide open because a lot of people don't want to get married on that exact day.
I got married on tax day, so mine's April 15th.
Oh, yeah.
How about that? Yeah.
Taxes.
I don't know.
You got those tax returns back.
It was the only Saturday open. That year was 2000, right? It was because of the, everyone wanted to get married in 2000.
Well, you get a lot of anniversary reminders, which is helpful. Like,
exactly.
taxes.
Starting in March or February, January.
Oh, yeah, that's my anniversary. Great. I got to do something for it. Today's also a special day. Today is Helmets and Heels' 2-year anniversary of going full time. The show actually began in August of 2014, that long ago. Thank you, RJ. Right. Yeah, that long ago. There were 4 of us. It was just for 1 hour. And then it expanded to 2 hours every Tuesday night, once a week for many years. And then 2 years ago today, we became full-time. The show looked a little different, but it's gotten better since then.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can name the originals. Okay. I know you're one of them.
That's
and
correct.
I know Donna's one of them,
Correct,
right?
Donna Murphy.
Jessica Blaylock.
That's right. Well done, Jessica Blaylock.
And then was it... Who's the cute blonde girl that went up north?
So
Amanda Borges?
That's a really good guess. Amanda Borges was one of the originals.
Blythe.
It was Blythe.
Yeah,
good job,
she's
Blythe
awesome too. Yeah, that's cool, man. Man, that's a long time ago.
Yeah, it is.
2014, and we used to do the show inside of the Jag Stadium. And what was cool about that at Everbank, was literally different people from the organization would just stop by, like Dave Caldwell, the general manager at the time.
Yeah, right.
Coaches
of course.
would stop by, coaches' wives. We had players' wives. Yeah, and Tuesday was their day off, so they were all there with a little extra time. So that part was really cool. The only downside was I was the on-site producer and one of the people talking to, and it was only an hour, but still having to do some of the buttons and talk was a little more challenging.
Yeah, and I think that when we were talking about 2 years ago, it was announced, and it was kind of funny timing because I remember when it was probably end of February, we got called into the office at first of like, hey, this is potentially happening, and really cool for me because I feel like, I was intern to front desk for a really long time, and then I would fill in on Helmets and Heels every now and then when it was like Lauren Rue still and Donna on the show. And then next thing you know, I think it was I'm trying to remember, 2019 that I became the full-time. Lauren Rue left and I replaced her on heels, but it was still Tuesday nights once a week. And so having that conversation of like, by the way, you're going to be, you know, are you ready for this, by the way, because you're still having to do all your other work. So 2 hours of your day is going to be dedicated to a show. And then they told us the date and I was like, oh, you realize that's April Fool's Day. I feel like people are going to lean into that one a little bit. And they did. But we weren't joking, guys. We're still here.
Yeah, and you do start like that a lot in radio. You get an hour, and then you get 2 hours, and you get a full week. You know, you never know.
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, happy anniversary.
Yeah. Thank you.
We'll have another one this summer.
We'll have another one this summer. What day did we start? You were July?
It was definitely in July.
It was July?
Because you had a vacation like mid-July, and then you started the Monday when you came back from Chicago,
that's right.
I think you were.
Yeah, it was Chicago. Yeah.
So whenever you came back from your Chicago
we'll
trip.
look back and get the actual date, and we'll throw a party.
Yeah, I want to say it was either the week of July 21st or the week of July 28th.
Yeah, I think it was the 21st.
I think
Okay.
21st, yeah.
Week of July 21st. So
beautiful.
AKA my birthday week, too.
Mm-hmm.
Worked out great.
AKA.
AKA.
That's right. Our birthdays are near each other.
Correct.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I
A
think
little bit further apart in years, but it's
not
okay.
that much.
Oh, whatever.
But the
all
cool
good.
part is that no matter what, the stations had our backs, and yes, went through a little bit of a change, and we got to add Tom McManus. It was just Taylor and I, obviously, there for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then when we were asked who we wanted to have join us, we both immediately said Tom.
Did you really? Or
Yeah.
are you just
I
saying that
swear
while I'm
I
in front of
did.
you right now?
I swear.
That
That
I
was
did.
the first one. You're like, I want Tom.
Oh, our first question was, can we have a male?
But man, yeah.
Like, we would
Okay.
love to have a man. And if that is approved, then we want Tom McManus.
All right.
Yeah.
You never knew that? We
Well,
never
no,
told you
So
that?
you're welcome for
I
your
didn't know I
job.
was first. Yeah, thank you. It's nice to be employed. I appreciate it. No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that I was the first
Well,
choice.
Billy Napier was our first choice.
Oh,
No, I would
okay.
never want to talk to him.
I can live with
I would
that.
have quit.
You're like, I'm out of here.
Not doing
It's
this.
you and Billy show.
No, yeah, we wanted a former player, and
Sure.
obviously both of us had worked with you multiple times
Oh,
over
yeah.
the past few years.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
so what the show's called Helmets and Heels. We
Yeah.
had the heels part, even
Right.
though neither of us wear heels, but we had that part of things figured out. And so, yeah, we wanted to have a little bit more the former player aspect.
Well, it's been great.
It has been. It's
great.
been really
Yeah,
fun.
Too much fun.
It is fun. And I realized
Was it ironic that the first year with us three, the Jags have the season that they won the amount of games? They won 13 games.
I've credited Tom with that many a time.
I think the universe spoke, said, yes, this is a good thing.
Yeah.
Let's reward them by having a great Jaguar season.
Love
It
it.
was only
Yeah.
4 wins the first year that we
Yeah.
were full time.
And now year 2, right? I saw what Tony said. I saw that interview with Ryan. It's great. Year 2, they're all ready,
Yeah,
staying
ready to go.
focused, staying hungry. I liked what I didn't like what Shotgun said, but it was interesting that he's like, yeah, we got complacent.
Mm-hmm.
They
But it's
did.
easier, isn't it easier to say that now in retrospect? It would have been more difficult, I think, for Shad, who obviously is also not involved in the day-to-day operations of the franchise. But if you had asked him in 2018, is the franchise complacent? He would have said no. If you had asked him in 2023, is the franchise complacent? I
Well,
think he would have said no.
if
It's
you
easier
s-
now.
He was probably being told no, and now he has people in the building that aren't
Well, and you know,
scared to tell him, yeah, this is good and bad.
you're protecting that coach too. Like if you say that publicly, now it's like, oh well, the coach is going to get fired.
Mhm.
Like you're
and the
obviously going
GM.
to
'Cause
fire these
I
guys.
think of complacency as GM. I mean, yes, for the coach, it's when the season starts. But to
Mhm.
me, being complacent in the offseason means the GM is not doing what he should be doing. The general manager is not working the phones or getting the right
Yeah.
draft picks,
Well, it's
getting the right
both.
free agents.
It's
in.
got to be both because I mean they did. I mean both years, 18 and 2023. You know, I mean 23. The hype was nauseating, even at training camp, and you would be hearing people talking like, "Oh, they're going to set records. Oh, they're going to do this. They're going to do that." I remember someone. I'll name him. I won't name him because I don't want to do that. It's not,
Name
No, I
him, no,
won't
I
name
won't.
it's not a big deal, but he's like, "You think this receiving core is better than Jimmy and Keenan?" I was like, "They haven't even taken a snap yet. What the hell are you talking about?" He's like, "They look pretty good. They're going to break all these records." I'm like,
Wow.
we'll see. You
Let's
know,
breathe
but
a little.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just and the hype was it was too much. And look, there's nothing wrong with feeling confident, and they should. But I like what I like hearing we're resetting. We're
Yep.
going back to zero. It's ground zero. Forget last year. We got a lot of work to do because, like Baselli said in that interview, they showed how they could handle the defeats. You got to show that you can handle that success and have that same vim and vigor as you approach the next year.
Yeah, and I think when it comes to the complacency side of things, because it was, I do remember conversations after 2018 of like, okay, after the 2018 season played through, so beginning of 2019 of, okay, maybe we didn't do enough off this last offseason. You know, there wasn't a lot of moves. You honestly lost more than you brought in, but it was fine because you went to the AFC Championship game and barely lost. And so that was kind of the conversation. And I think, but you talk about it, but didn't change anything, because then you look at the 2019 offseason and like didn't really do much in free agency that year. And so I think that you live in this world, which right now they didn't either. So you have to look at the draft. Now you're still kind of waiting because depending what they do in the draft, there may still be some people being like, oh, it feels a little complacent this offseason. You added one free agent, and that's the only thing that's been done so far. So do you feel like you're good enough in the product you have right now? But I feel like they're going to add several pieces but within the draft that is going to immediately be, kind of improving certain position groups or at least depth pieces and things like that. So it should be different. You have 11 picks to do things with, but through this point in time, you're kind of saying you're a little quiet, honestly. You haven't really spent any money, and other teams have spent a ton of money or at least brought in that one splash player. Not saying splash players always pan out, but you need to see more this offseason to feel like they are trying to not get any sort of complacency.
I also think, Tom, complacency to me, in addition to the personnel, outside of the personnel, I should say, it also is a feeling. It's an attitude. It's we've arrived, right? And that's where those two previous seasons, going into the next season, it felt like everyone was walking around like,
we made
rested
it
on their laurels. Basically.
We are the team to beat, and I think Liam Cohen is driving home that message, even though he's not with the team every day yet, but driving home that message of absolutely, we did nothing last year. All I'm going to talk about is that loss to the Bills.
And I thought 2018 and 2023 were different. 2018 felt like there was that group of guys that it was all about individual. It wasn't about the team. They wanted to get paid. I get that. You understand certain things, but it felt like it was that group of five, although very good players. And did well individually. It just wasn't like they cared about the team enough to really want to make a difference. 2023, look, I didn't think they cared, not because of the individual, but they kept making the same mistakes over and over and over and over again. 24 especially, you're like, man, if you really care, if you really love the game of football, you clean up the mistakes, and they don't happen in week 14. The simple ones. Things do happen, but the ones over and over and over again. So it was a little bit different. But again, it's about just handling that success, staying humble, staying hungry, and then going back. And look, you're right. They've been a little bit not really doing much. They've depleted, but they haven't added. But the story's not over yet. And we got to see what they do. And, they're thinking about it because they got to they know what they got to fill. I mean, you got to replace two really big players from your team a year ago that without them, you wouldn't have won 13 games. You wouldn't have. I mean, that running game carried you early, and Devin Lloyd was an all-pro. So,
you take away 13 touchdowns, and that's a lot right there.
A lot of production.
But obviously the message they've sent to us so far is they believe in Bashal Tutin. They believe in Chris Rodriguez and LaQuint Allen Jr. as being able to replace the production as far as running back goes, and maybe DJ Dallas mixed in. And then on the other side, they believe in Ventrell Miller. That, to me, is what Liam Cohen said at the owners' meetings this week, as far as the linebacker part of things. Like, he has a lot of faith in Ventrell Miller. And we know. We've talked
He's
about
got to see more, though. So, to me, there is some hesitancy there.
Well, so they believe in Tutin to a degree, or they don't do the Chris Rodriguez deal. He's insurance.
Well, because they lost the running back. Miller, they had to but
let's see if they do anything in the draft.
That's what I mean, right? So this point in time, that's what they've communicated. But the draft will show us so much more as far as what they believe in this roster. Right, more to do on the other side. Jaguars draft prospects, a whole lot more. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The home of the Florida Gators and Jacksonville Jaguars.
Make yourselves at home, sweet home, boys.
1010XL.
Hello!
It's a big house.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today from GFL, Green for Life.
Ready to dance? Right now on Hard Rock Bet, new customers get paid double winnings on your first 10 bets. And we'll keep you dancing all tourney with 2 profit boosts for every day of hoops. That's right. All customers can get a parlay profit boost and a live bet profit boost from now till they cut down the nets. double winnings, daily dancing boosts only on Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
If you think it's great to be you can get more Gators anytime on the Gator Podcast channel.
Go Gators!
Set up by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists on the video and social channels of 1010XL.
Been in a car crash? I'm local attorney Rick Alexander, and I've made it our mission at the Alexander Law Practice to listen to you so I can fight for the best possible result for you. I've been practicing over 30 years, and our team focuses on guiding you through the entire process. And because fees and reimbursement costs come out at the end of the case, I will never ask you to come out of pocket. For a free review, call 904-400-6600 or log on to alexanderlawpractice.com, Jacksonville.
I'm with Greg from Cycles in Jacksonville, and Triumph is a known name when it comes to beautiful rides on the road. What is the latest from Triumph?
Well, if you didn't come, we had an unleashing at the dealership last week. We saw 6 new models from Triumph, anything from 400 cc's to 1200 cc's. If you're looking at a bike, you got to look at the new Triumphs.
Experienced riders will love it.
And the inexperienced will love it. We've got something for everybody in the Triumph lineup. Great, great motorcycles.
Showroom waiting for you. Triumph. Find them at Cycles in Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
David Garrard here. Playing in the NFL can put a lot of wear and tear on your body, especially your knees. Southeast Orthopedic Specialist has kept me mobile and ready to tackle every day.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialist.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's team time, Farah doesn't flinch.
This is one of those songs that can end up getting stuck in my head for the rest of the day.
I was in high school when that came out.
Yeah?
Yeah. Beach time in Michigan, Lake Michigan at night. It's good. Little fire. Little girlfriend.
Girlfriend.
Couple beers. Yeah, good times.
And you'd sing to her, I just want to use your love tonight.
Maybe not in those words, LB.
Just singing the lyrics. That's all I got to say.
I was talking when I went to the Notre Dame LSU baseball game earlier in the season. I was telling you guys one of the LSU players, this was his song, but it was right at the part where it says, I like my girls a little bit older.
Right.
And I'm like, that's so perfect for a walk-up song for a college kid. It was good.
Yeah.
All he said was, yeah.
Young, old, whatever. I don't, whatever back
Moving
in the
on.
day.
All right. So
But a good tune.
That's
A good
right.
tune.
For sure.
We found out yesterday that the Jacksonville Jaguars asked to have their bye week after playing consecutive games in London this season. No surprise there because obviously of the travel. And I would imagine that'll be somewhere around the midpoint of the season. But we also found out that the Jaguars in 2027 will have Orlando as their temporary home. Here is President Mark Lamping on why they chose Orlando.
It's in close proximity to Jacksonville, an NFL-ready stadium, a strong NFL market that is also one of the world's top leisure destinations, and community and political leaders who understand the power of the NFL and the positive impact it can have on a community and its residences. Really interesting to note the similarities. And the first time when you and I met and you explained Lyft Orlando to me and explained about Lyft Jacks, the Westlake neighborhood is very similar to the Out East neighborhood that is adjacent to the new stadium. Both neighborhoods that unfortunately were underserved for far too long and now are getting the type of investment that both of those communities deserve.
Yeah, the biggest takeaways for me in watching that whole press conference this morning down in Orlando is the really good partnership between Jacksonville and that city. And obviously a lot of moving parts, but at the end of the day, the Jaguars needed a temporary home for just one season, not two. That's the good news. They will play limited capacity this upcoming season. And then fans will have to figure out how often they want to commute to Orlando, or if you're already a Jags fan in Orlando, it makes it great for you for one season. But Tom, I think the big question is for people who go to a couple games a year, are they going in Jacksonville? Are they going to go down to Orlando?
I think it depends how the team's doing. I could see going down there for the diehards are going to go. That's what they do. But yeah, I think it depends how the season's going. I mean, if they're exciting again and they look like they're one of the top teams, yeah, you make a run down there. You spend the night, maybe, hit Disney the night before, or just not, and hang out and go to the game. Look, Orlando's a great spot. I think, overall, too, what a great fan outreach. Like, expand your fan base, because if you do well and you treat them well, and, people might be like, kind of like this Jaguar team, maybe there's Jag fans down there, and then there's just NFL fans down there that are going to go to the NFL games because they're going to either see their favorite team, their favorite players, what have you.
And
They'll
it's a
go
transient
to those games.
city. So there's people that are in Orlando that don't live in Orlando. There's tons of people that just visit, to your point. And it's not just Disney. There's other things that they visit too.
Yeah, but they got a ton of residents. You'll pick up some fans is what I'm getting at. And look, I selfishly, maybe I would have liked Daytona, but that didn't make sense because you have to build a stadium inside the Speedway. Gainesville would have been cool, but, they're going with their own renovations. They got stuff they got going on. And
they won't even have begun by 2027.
It might be just logistically a little bit of an issue. It's just an easier shot to Orlando, a little bit longer, of course. But, yeah, listen, it's great. I mean, they got to do what they have to do to get the dream stadium that we all want. So that's the sacrifice. And, look, they're doing their own renovations, so it's going to be nice enough. I mean, that stadium gets a bad rap for being around for a long time. It needs some upgrades, but they're getting them. They had to get them in order for this move to happen.
$400 million worth.
Yeah, great for Orlando, and it services a need for us as a team and to potentially grow the fan base. So it's a win-win. I like it.
The area is used to having high capacity events, so that's a good thing, obviously, with Camping World and what they do in Camping World. But EDC is held right around it. Warped Tour that I was just at in November is held right around it, and so that area is used to having a large amount of people in and out. And so they have when you're talking about flow of traffic and tailgating and all of that stuff, they already have a set plan, and they have for a long time, and a lot of examples of ways that they've used the land around to be able to do a lot of different sort of things. So I think that is one positive of it, because it's not like they're going, oh, we're going to this place that's not used to having to hold a however many large of a fan base. So they're used to that. I think that's positive. And it's a 2-hour drive. I looked at it from from this building to Orlando right now. It's right at 2 hours. It's like 2 hours, 8 minutes or something. So it's not terrible. And also I was thinking about it in the sense of there's only 6 home games technically this year. And so you'll get one month we'll have 2. The rest of them you'll only have to go once. And so I think that as a positive or negative, but you only there's once a month, and then maybe one other month that we'll have 2 that you're going to have to plan around that. So,
well, that's the question, is how many will be in Orlando in 2027 versus how many will be in London or international games in general.
If they kept it similar to this year, it'd be that, but it could be less. We've heard rumors that maybe they put a little more international, and then you only have one a month that is in Orlando potentially. And so, it'll be interesting to see how many fans go down there. And like you said, Tommy, I know the diehards, the Bold City Brigade and the Teal Street Hooligans, they're going to be down there no matter what. That's just what they do. But for others, it is. I mean, it's Sundays are difficult sometimes just because to get down there, and people work Monday morning. What does that look like? But I'm sure there's going to be all sorts of options once it's time to. There's probably going to be party buses and all sorts of different bus kind of shuttle bus type things that people are going to be able to go on, just because you've seen it in other cities that have had to play outside their city for a year or so for renovations or whatever the case may be. They'll do stuff like that. Well, they'll have full buses that'll load everybody down there, so you don't have to worry about driving, because you also don't want to send people down there to tailgate and drink all day and then tell them to drive 2 hours back.
A few years ago we went to Orlando on a party bus with a bunch of friends to go see a soccer game, and it was an absolute blast, and you don't have to worry about driving.
Just
traffic.
Hang out the whole way.
Yeah, you really enjoy yourselves. So I'm hoping that the Jaguars, within that diehard season ticket member group, I hope that they put together some options. Obviously, it's going to cost money, and they're not going to do it for fans for free. But I would love for each home game there to be an option of, if you want this, you sign up, and let's just call it $150 a person. I have absolutely no idea. I'm just throwing a figure out there based off of gas being over $4 a gallon right now. So that way people can sign up for that, and then they, each bus can have a conversation as far as, do we want to go out to restaurants and bars down there? Or do we want to tailgate? How does how does
outside.
that look like?
Yep.
And stuff like that. But that is by far, if I was going as a fan, that is by far what I would want. Even as a media person, I would love for the PR people to put together shuttles to go to and fro. But we'll see. And they all obviously first have to figure out this upcoming season with limited capacity and all the logistics that are concerned with that, because there's limited parking as well as limited capacity.
Yeah, I'm not a good passenger though. I need to drive, so I just
I'm a
won't
passenger
party.
princess.
You know what I mean? I won't drink. I'll just watch the game. But no, I can't sit around waiting for the bus. Get on the bus, Gus. Not me. Tom doesn't like getting on the bus.
The party buses are so easy, though. It's like open space. There's music going. There's
a
drinks. You're
bathroom
just
usually.
communicating. Yeah, it's. And I know when Chicago did their renovations, they would shuttle.
Yeah.
They would do that to where it was like you could pay X amount. I don't remember how much
They
it
had to
was.
go down to Champaign, right?
Yeah, they had to go to Champaign, Illinois,
Like a 3.5 hour ride. That's a long
they'd load
ride.
up, they'd sell these tickets, and you think about it too, though. If you're driving, you are paying for gas, and then you're paying for parking once you get there.
True.
And so if you are on, some sort of shuttle or bus that you are, maybe you're like, oh, that's a little pricey, but you're thinking about the money you're spending in the travel and then parking down there. Maybe it ends up working out. Some people don't care. Some people will drive in a heartbeat and have no issues at making that trek to Orlando. But
if you leave early enough in the morning, then you would avoid traffic.
Yeah,
The tricky
Sunday
part
morning's
is going to
pretty
be the egress when everyone is leaving
Trying
the
to leave,
stadium around the same time. That's when obviously we've seen that traffic here in Jacksonville. The worst it ever was, we were just talking about 2018, leaving the Jaguars-Patriots game, Patriots-Jags game in 2018
it was awful.
Was by far the worst traffic I've ever been in as far as leaving a game. It took me over an hour and a half to get
What a
from
game.
Everbank back to home.
That
Yeah,
was
it was a great
awesome.
game, but as the Patriots said after, that was our Super Bowl, and it pretty much was, because
It
that was the
was.
best month of the
We
season.
collapsed after that.
Yeah, for sure. By the way, were you referring to the Paul Simon song, 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover?
No, I don't know what song it is,
Okay.
but get on the bus, Gus. You don't have to discuss much.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
that
the
song.
one? Is that
Yeah.
it? Okay, there.
Yeah.
There you go. You know your music better than I do, LB.
I love Paul Simon.
Oh, do you? And
Mhm.
Garfunkel? Is that Simon and Garfunkel?
It is Simon and
Art?
Garfunkel. I like just also Paul Simon.
Mhm.
You Can Call Me Al. That's the most famous.
Yeah, you
Paul
can
Simon
call me
song.
Al. Right, that's a good one.
But there's a ton of them.
Mm-hmm. Do you know you
I
can
don't know
call
those.
me Al?
I don't know those.
You know that song.
I don't think so.
I bet.
Sing it for her, LB. Come on, give it a whirl.
Is that Simon and Garfunkel? That's just Simon.
That's just Paul Simon. Yeah,
yeah.
I think you'll know it, but yeah, we'll figure out more. All right, I want to get to some draft prospects. Taylor put together a ton of draft prospects that could be on the Jaguars' hot board or big board. And when it comes to this, you looked more at the defensive side of the ball because on Monday we looked at different Senior Bowl standouts. And the reason we did that is because 8 of the 9 draft picks for the Jaguars last year all played in the Senior Bowl outside of course, Travis Hunter, who they moved up to get. And so I looked at, like I said, Senior Bowl standouts. Most of those fell in the offensive category outside of a couple edges. So now let's get into some defensive players. You want to start with linebacker?
Sure.
Since we have a former linebacker
Yeah,
here.
let's do that. I do want to mention too, Justin Mello had posted that he posted an article about tight end out of Vandy, Eli Stowers, and which we've talked a lot about, a decent amount about him anyways, and what the tight end room may look like in Jacksonville. But he posted an article about Stowers a second ago, but it was reported that the Jag scouts at the Combine did a formal interview with Stowers. And so if you look on a lot of the draft boards, he's like 53rd ranked of the prospects, like on just a big board. The second tight end,
45-inch vertical.
Yeah.
I mean, that's flying.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
He also stood out when you actually watched the games too.
Yeah, he's
more
fast.
Than just measurements.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll go into some of the linebackers. There were a few that I sent over to you guys that kind of stood out to me in the first place. One of them is Navy linebacker Landon Robinson. So Landon Robinson also has been linked to the Jags. He's had an interview with the Jaguars also, so that's one that you keep in mind in general when it comes to just having that connection. So 122nd ranked prospect in the draft big board right now, so somebody you can get a little bit later in the draft. He started as a linebacker and then moved to interior defensive line. So they do say he's versatile and can play different. So I'm listing him in this linebacker, but some say he may be better
big
on the inside.
But very fast, very quick.
Yep. Labeled as one of the most athletic defensive linemen in this draft is like the exact exact verbiage you read on him was on Bruce Feldman's Freaks list 3 times. We've went over some of that list.
I love the Freaks list.
Yes. So 3 consecutive times he landed on that list. 64 tackles, 8.5 TFLs, 6.5 sacks, 34 pressures just last year. Some of the things they link to him, raw power, quickness. They talk a lot about his first step, which is something we speak a lot about when it comes to those interior defensive linemen, or, wherever this teams end up using him. Some people say that they see him better fit there. Some say he could be just a big linebacker, but projected more of a 3 tech if he is on the line, but did play a lot of 0 tech when he was put on the interior defensive line. So versatile guy and that's something we've seen this regime do a lot of when it comes to bringing guys that they feel like can play multiple spots, including, I know they didn't draft Trayvon Walker, but how they started using Trayvon Walker throughout the season.
I don't know that I've ever heard of a guy that's projected as a linebacker that could also be a 0 technique in a season. That's pretty wild. By the way, Matt Miller from ESPN has him going in the 6th round, pick 214 to the Colts. So like you said, you could get him later. But I feel like pairing him with a former Navy guy, Ryan Lane, would be fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. Do you think you like him better on the line?
Yeah, but I mean, he's a little small for a nose at the NFL level. I mean, I like that he's quick as a 3 technique in that first step. But I don't know. I'd be at that. And now 6th round, yes. You got 3 6-rounders, right? Yeah. No, you got 1 6-rounder and 3 7-rounders. So in that range, I think that matters. I think when I'm looking for, like, how am I going to replace Devin Lloyd, right? So I want a outside backer who can also maybe rush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a hybrid.
And 6 feet, 287 does not necessarily speak to that.
Yeah. Or I want a cover guy. And I know Ventrell's kind of a cover guy, too, in space. There's that kid out of Cincy. Have you seen him, the Gold Day kid?
Oh,
Jake?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe 4-3, maybe. In that, if you can get him, he's like a hybrid. I mean, that's the kind of, to me, that's what I want to see replaced. I want to see that length. I want to see him good against the run. I want to see him be able to rush.
Yeah.
And if he's a better cover guy, then so be it. But I don't know. That's when I was looking at the backers. How am I going to replace Devin Lloyd?
Well, we have 2 more. We can get to those on the other side. 2 more linebackers that I thought popped out. The other 2 probably fit the Jags' needs and scheme a little bit better, just because I wanted to throw Landon in there just because he has been linked to the Jags. But at that 6th, 7th round, maybe it is somebody they add for some depth, because usually that's what you're building later in the draft.
I like it. More linebackers on the other side. And Tommy's take from a former linebacker. You are listening to Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
Want to show off that backyard flex? Purple Heart Pools, a veteran-owned pool company right here in Jacksonville, is offering a brand new custom pool and spa package for a flat $75,000. All in, no bait, no switch. You heard that right. Only $75,000 for a custom pool and spa. Now's the time to break ground. Game days, summer nights, and neighborhood envy included. Schedule a free consultation today at purpleheartpools.com. Purple Heart Pools, Jacksonville's veteran pool company.
New home, same great golf. This year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open tees off at the Golf Club of Southampton, Monday, April 27th. Score a hole-in-one to win a Kubota RTV 520 utility vehicle from Coastal Equipment. Edwin Watts Golf has great proximity prizes. For a chance for you and a partner to play, text Guggen to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010. Thanks to our sponsors, CSS Outdoor, the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Union 234, and Royal Pest Control.
The action is heating up at Best Bet Jacksonville in April. The $500 buy-in, $100,000 guaranteed no-limit hold'em tournament is back with 4 starting flights April 10th and 11th, all leading to the final day on April 12th, live streamed on Best Bet Live. Do you want another chance at big money? Don't miss the second chance $300 no-limit hold'em tournament, $30,000 guarantee at 2 p.m. on April 12th. See all the details at bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, this is Dr. George Bari, an orthopedic surgeon who is fellowship trained in sports medicine. If you are a young athlete or a weekend warrior, I treat you with the care and expertise that is needed to diagnose and treat your injury. Come see me at Bari Orthopedics to get the care that you need.
Be sure and check out the expertise from Dr. George Bari and the entire staff at BariOrthopedics.com. That's BAHRI Orthopedics.com. And follow Doc on Instagram at Dr.GeorgeBari.
Jacksonville, get ready. April 6th, the Florida Theater presents Leonid and Friends. This 11-piece band brings the sound of Chicago to life. Horns, vocals, all the energy. Hear favorites from Chicago, Earth, Wind and Fire, Stevie Wonder, and more. One night only, April 6th. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
We went to probably 4 or 5 jewelry stores.
Jacksonville's Mitch Vandal went to the town center looking for an engagement ring, but found the big box corporate jewelry experience wasn't for him.
Nobody was really helping us. One of the stores, some people walked in behind us and they were offered beer and champagne, and I'm wearing shorts and a cutoff, so I don't really look the part. So I was like, well, I guess we'll go somewhere else. I don't know if they think we can afford to shop here or what.
So he went across and discovered locally owned Beards Diamonds.
When I walked in, everybody just said, hey, welcome in. Welcome to Beards.
Mitch loved the service and attention he got at Beards and ended up with a bigger, better quality diamond.
It was about twice the size of what I thought I could afford, and it was also about twice the size of what my wife thought she wanted.
Today, Mitch tells all his friends, shop local, shop Beards.
You're going to get the best deal on the best diamond.
Unbeatable value, unmatched selection, uncompromising personal service.
Anybody that I know, I want them to shop at Beards.
Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Problem is all inside your head, she said to me. The answer is easy if you take it logically.
This is not the song I thought you would know, but this is the song Tom was referring to in 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover by Paul Simon.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I've never heard this in my life.
No, not this one, but
That's the one that says, get on the bus, Gus?
yes, that's this song. But I guarantee when we play You Can Call Me Out, that one I'm pretty sure you will have heard.
Yeah.
I feel like 90% confident, don't you, Tom?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. I wish I could sing it, but I can't.
He has a much higher tone than you do.
No, I don't know. I can't remember the words either. That's part of the problem.
But something about the Gus bus, the bus Gus.
That was a different song.
Oh, gosh, now I'm very confused.
RJ, you're doing a great job. I understand what you're doing. I don't know what's happening elsewhere. Someone did say on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, they're not surprised that Tom could not
wasn't waiting
wait
for the bus because he wouldn't even wait for the boat at the Players Championship.
No.
If you missed that story, Tommy did not wait for the little ferry thing going across the pontoon and just jumped and swam. Won some money though, or the guy didn't give you the money.
No, but I
You
got
won?
100 from one guy. The one guy that didn't. Yeah.
Still 100
I
bucks.
won. I won that race. It was a good one. A good one. I wasn't thinking about any alligators either.
I'm surprised, but that's also because I've seen the alligators at the Players Championship.
Let me tell you something. I was pulling my boy Robbie through that cove in wherever we were, St. John's, and there was only like 5 boats.
St. John's Virgin Island, not St. John's
River.
Yeah,
South.
sorry, right. I
you're
should
good.
have clarified that. And the sun's going down, so it's getting a little dark, and he can't swim because he's all cramping up, and I'm doing my polar bear. He's holding onto my feet, and the whole time I'm thinking, this is just like those stories you hear. A big shark comes out of nowhere, bites somebody in half, and nobody can help him. There's nobody around, but somehow he survives. I'm like, please don't bite me. Please don't bite me. Please don't bite me. But we did look funny, I would think, from the
Aerial
water
view.
up, because we were pretty long. We were about 20 feet long. I had a couple of those floaties keeping us afloat and whatnot. But yeah, that was a little eerie. I didn't feel that way but racing the boat. I think because I was too drunk and I just was like, screw it, I'm just gonna go for it. And you got asked to do it for $100. I was like, yeah, why not? And I had to take a leak, so I kind of killed like 3 birds with one stone while racing that boat.
And you impressed Christina's father, your future
I don't know if I
father-in-law.
impressed him, but he was in the line. I hadn't met him yet. I hadn't met her yet either. Thank goodness she went in that line. She would have had second thoughts. I don't know. But,
Not at all.
Yeah.
Knowing her, she would have been
like, my
impressed.
hero.
Should have been cheering him on.
We were waiting for the ferry the other day, the St. John's River ferry, and we were the very last car to not make it on, right? So therefore, we were the very first car for the next ferry.
Yeah.
And obviously, they go by lane, and so they usually start with the car that was the last one that didn't make it. So that's what we figure is going to happen. Yeah. But then I noticed, like, one of the ferry employees was not in front of our lane, and they started to move the cone in front of a completely different lane. And I was like, uh-oh. If they do that, we're not going to make this ferry. And obviously, it's like a half hour in between.
Right. Yeah, right.
And I was like, my husband is not just going to sit
here for another whole half
and
hour.
wait for another ferry. And so thankfully, obviously, there's a horn on the car. And so he started honking. And then one of the other employees was like, stop them. Like, this is the first lane. But I was like, whew, that was
I'd be hauling
close
ass
one.
out of there.
Yeah.
I'm not waiting for that either. I don't have patience like that. I just don't.
Well, it ended up
I
working
keep it
out.
internalized. Like, I don't vocalize it, but I'm like, I got to get out of here.
Well, that's vocalizing it.
I say it to myself, Taylor. I say it to myself. Yeah.
I think anyone who
get
spends
you.
time around you knows your limits.
Yeah.
And that works for everyone. All right.
That's right.
Speaking of Tom, time now for his takes.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial #law. That's all.
All right, my take today on this beautiful Wednesday is centered around Ryan O'Halloran talking to my good buddy Tony Baselli and what he said about Brian Thomas. You know, he said, look, he's going to be a big part of what we're going to do. He didn't forget to play football. We think his best football is in front of him. And, you know, it's great to hear that because we believe it too. We know the talent's there. He went through a rut. He came out of it. Jacoby helped. It's going to continue to help getting him on the outside. But I love hearing that about Brian Thomas because all you heard in the offseason was, oh, they're going to trade him. Oh, they're going to trade him. It was Buffalo. It was Pittsburgh. It was all these teams that were going to go get Brian Thomas. We're like, no, you don't give up on him yet. He's only a third-year player. You don't have to give up on him yet. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
You're still in that rookie contract. Let's see how it plays out. But they're doing more than that. They're gonna do. And I tell you, it's that psychology, like with Anton. Yeah, when he wants to, he will. You know, he's got so much talent. His sky's the limit, and when he wants to do it, he'll do it. Well, guess what? Anton showed that he wanted to do it. I think it's very similar to Brian Thomas. I think it's going to be that kind of thing. Like, hey, Brian, you got it. You have all the talent, but this is what you're going to have to do. And I love it because I think he's going to be a big part, and I want him to get back to that rookie year, and I think it'd be great for our offense. Hey, we scored plenty of points as is, but we could be even more dangerous with a consistent, deep threat out of Brian Thomas.
And imagine if he's even better than his rookie season, right? Like, it's hard for us to imagine because there's so many other weapons like we talk about. But what if he and Trevor develop that really good chemistry and Brian Thomas is the Malik Neighbors that, you know, he played with in college? It is the Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. Like, those are the other guys that played at LSU. So I guarantee you he has his sights set on being a wide receiver like that and isn't looking into the past. You can learn from the past, but you want to, you know, obviously you want to look
in the past.
Right. You want to look and see, how do I achieve my goals that are set out for me? And when you score 17 touchdowns in college, you want to score 17 touchdowns in a season in the NFL.
Yeah, and I think that there was a clip, Tommy, when you were out that we played of Steve Smith Sr. talking about the situation. And he wasn't saying, this is what I heard. He was saying coming, you know, being in a lot of rooms and knowing a lot of players and kind of talking about different personalities and from people he's talked to about Brian Thomas Jr., he kind of was saying in a sense like maybe Brian Thomas Jr. is one of those guys that does need that little push of like, you've got this. You know, he's just one of those players who likes to have that kind of reassurance and those affirmations of that. And I think his rookie year, getting drafted in the first round, that is like all of the reassurance you need of, hey, that we've got, like, we're spending a first round draft pick on you. You're a guy that we want to really stand out in,
Even though
in
we
this
traded
world.
down.
Yeah. But still, you go in the first round. That's more money. That's a lot of things that are kind of associated with being a first round draft pick. And so I do think, especially in that wide receiver class that was that year, that's probably going to go down as one of the better wide receivers class in the NFL in NFL history. But then this last year, things were a little different. And Steve Smith Sr. went into that of, you know, you go through and you trade up, you give up a lot of capital and trade up to get Travis Hunter. And then the whole offseason were how much is he going to play wide receiver? Is he going to be this? And is it, you know, whatever. We saw the frustrations leak out during camp from Brian Thomas Jr. and early in the season when there was drops and all of these other things starting to happen. And then you go get Jacoby Myers and, you know, things got a little bit better, but you never really saw what you saw from the rookie season. To me, I feel like if anything, him hearing trade rumors should be not in the sense of, if you look at it at the Jags, not saying the Jags were ever wanting to send him away, but people wanting to call and ask if you're available should be an indicator that people have really high thoughts of what type of receiver you are. You don't just call for a receiver to try and give away draft picks for a receiver that you don't think is one of the better ones or can be one of the better ones in the NFL. So I hope Brian Thomas, if he's heard those things and was seeing those things, is taking it as a positive thing, that people are like, maybe the Jags will get a first-round pick for Brian Thomas Jr. To me, that's a compliment. That's people saying that your game is good enough to want to trade high draft picks for, and they think that you can be a big part of their offense. Because nobody calling was talking, it was calling, all the teams calling were ones that truly needed wide receiver number ones at that point in time. And so to me, I hope he takes that, if he heard, and if that's a discussion at all, that he takes that as a compliment of people think you're a really good wide receiver. And this year is not washing that away for anybody just because you had maybe not as
I think he did hurt it because Gladstone came out and kind of did like we're not, which is fine. You got to do what you got to do to keep your players in that positive mindset. But that's what that felt like.
Yeah.
Like, I have to go out there and defend and make sure he knows publicly,
we want you.
Yeah. Forget this trade talk. Hey, listen, it doesn't matter. He's still a young guy. He's still, look, 23, 24 years old, whatever he is. He might even be a little bit younger than that. He's still working it out. But yeah,
23.
What's that?
23.
23. I was a maniac at 23. I probably should have been arrested like 12 times. But, he's still young is my point, and he's got so much talent. And teams would want that on their team because they're like, let me get him.
Yeah.
Like, hey, he's not happy down there. He's still the guy that scored 17 touchdowns his senior year. Great rookie year. Yeah, downfall last year. But that's why you don't get rid of him. You just can't. Like, the upside is too good to be like, I'm going to give up on this kid already. It'd be different if he was a problem.
Yeah.
Causing trouble, getting in trouble, wouldn't live, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. But he wasn't. A guy that we tend to forget was a very willing blocker as well. So that's the one thing. Oh, he's soft. I'm like, well, he goes and blocks people. It can't be that soft if he likes that. But nonetheless, hopefully all that stuff's behind him. And I like the fact that they're putting their marbles back in his basket and saying, no, look, we need you. You're going to be a big part of what we're trying to do. I love it.
Absolutely. I love it too, because I think he's a superstar. All right, to get back to the linebacking prospects in this draft class that Taylor has identified, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I'm Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski. He wins. And you're listening to 1010XL, Jack Sports Radio.
Hey folks, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods, a Jacksonville family business for nearly 70 years. Heck, I've been talking about them for over a decade. The Thompson family secret, Dandy is never frozen. Always fresh baked bread with quality meats and cheeses. No dry, crumbly subs here, only soft and tasty deliciousness. When I see that logo with the little guy with the cane on the label, it tells me I'm getting a trusted brand and a quality sandwich. So do what I do, stop in at a Circle K and make yours a Dandy today.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week and weekend at VyStar Ballpark. Tomorrow is Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Don't miss fireworks Friday and Saturday, plus Southpaw onesie giveaway on Saturday, presented by Miller Electric and Hyatt Regency Jacksonville Riverfront. Baseball all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable, family, fun.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Make Capital Glass and Shower Doors your premier choice for top-quality glass solutions. With over 40 years of expertise, their team specializes in commercial and residential projects. From elegant shower doors to modern frameless enclosures, they've got you covered. But that's not all. They also offer glass railing systems, glass wine cabinets, and much more. For unmatched quality and service, choose Capital Glass and Shower Doors. Your vision, their expertise. Visit online at capcoglass.com.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan.
It's a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year loan. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much cash you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Loan Pronto, A-rated by the BBB, with nearly 2,800 five-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. This is not You Can Call Me Al, so you do not have to pay
that's Michael
attention.
McDonald, though, isn't it?
That is Michael McDonald. I don't love the Doobie Brothers with Michael McDonald. I love the Doobie Brothers without Michael McDonald.
The Doobs.
Yes.
I'm a fan.
Either way.
Yeah.
Or the
either guy.
band, or are we talking about something else? The Doobs.
No, the band. Yeah.
Okay.
Doobie Brothers. What a great name.
Absolutely.
I call them the Doobs.
That's perfect.
Yeah, a little nickname for them. What's wrong with that?
Very close with them.
China Grove. Yeah.
I love it. All right, we've got a family 4-pack to go see Sporting Jacks women versus Tampa Bay Rowdies at Hodges Stadium on Saturday night. That game kicks off at 7:30. That's on the campus of North Florida. If you want to go, be call number 2-641-1010. Call number 2-641-1010.
Sorry to interrupt you. This one's for the men's. The men and the women are both playing at 7:30 on Saturday at Hodges Stadium. And so I thought it was, I guess there's two different fields over there, and they're playing on two different fields from what I've heard. I had a triple check, and so at first I put women's, but we gave away women's yesterday. Today is men's.
That's why I was surprised when I saw both were for the women, but I thought, okay, sounds good.
The name of the team
But
is
still,
Sporting
call
Jacks.
641-1010.
Yes.
Do they have a nickname?
I don't. Not to my knowledge.
So, that's it. That's an interesting name for a soccer team, isn't it? Sporting Jacks. I mean, what was the other one? Tampa Bay Rough Riders.
Rowdies.
Rowdy.
Tampa Bay Rowdies.
Yeah, it's close enough. You know what I mean? What about Jacksonville?
Like Sporting Jacks somethings, you're saying? Yeah.
Like the mascot.
Yeah. That's what I don't.
So the Sporting Jacks is the 4 men, and then Sporting Jacks. Well,
They're Sporting Jacks
women,
men and women, yes.
Maybe they don't have a mascot yet.
Interesting name for a soccer team. Good.
They're
Well,
just
go
getting
see them play.
going, so-
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
Yeah.
AI says that they've adopted Rex, the fake dinosaur that's on Beach Boulevard, as their mascot. I don't know if
The
that's
big
right.
orange dinosaur.
Yeah, the orange.
He's a staple in Jacksonville.
Yeah, you got little arms, and you don't need your arms in soccer, so it's a good fit.
Well, you do for throw-ins, and if
Yeah,
you're the
that's true.
keeper.
Throw it like that. Silence. Little
This
arms.
is why you
We're
watch
seeing
the
armless cornhole
stream.
players. We can see.
He was a quadruped.
Quadruped,
Yeah.
yeah.
So we talked about that story. That was terrifying. All right. Let's get back to linebackers.
Yes.
Please. Texas Tech, Jacob Rodriguez next on the list.
He is. I couldn't make this list without it because I do think we are going to be talking more and more and more about Jacob Rodriguez as time gets closer. We'll see where he ends up landing. Some people have him mocked at the end of the first, very beginning of the second. So we'll see where he actually ends up going in this draft. But he's the 45th overall prospect or around 45 to 50 is what I'm seeing on most boards right now. Some a little higher. Like I said, have him late 30 and at that early 30s. Late 30s, but was a dual threat quarterback in high school, I read, which is super cool. We talk about those guys who know the field, see the field a little bit different when they've played. And most guys in high school will play both sides of the ball, but his whole high school career was a dual threat quarterback. He bounced between quarterback and wide receiver his freshman year at Virginia. So
Well,
you're
that's
talking
kinda
about
like
in
Jacoby
college.
Myers,
A
like
Jacoby
yeah.
Myers situation. And then he transferred to Texas Tech where he switched positions at that point to linebacker. He dealt with some injuries
and made some money, I'm sure, also along the way. Because Texas Tech is doling out the cash.
Oh, yeah, they've got some money. Dealt with some injuries in 2023, and so that was part of what has been factored into some of the numbers when you look at his career as a whole in college, but really had his breakout season in 2024, 127 tackles, 10.5 for loss, 5 sacks. for him at that linebacking position. But I feel like a lot of people, this is one of the biggest links we've seen. If you've seen any second-round mock drafts anywhere, 90% of them right now have Jacob Rodriguez to
including Matt
the
Miller
Jags.
with his 7th-round mock. Last season, Tom, he had 4 interceptions and 13 forced fumbles. That, to me, reeks of Devin Lloyd.
Well, listen, and every time you watch Texas Tech, he was all over the place. He made all the tackles. Him and that other linebacker they have, I don't recall his name, but they're both pretty good. But Rodriguez did, and he had a great combine. I mean, for a linebacker, his 40 was under a 4.6. His 20-yard shoulder was like a 4.2. Broad jump was 10 feet, so he's got some explosiveness. His vertical is 38 and a hook. So he really did a good job, and he's a playmaking linebacker.
Yeah.
That's not just like you see some of these other guys that I have written down. They're really either good cover guys or they're good against the run. He's got a little bit of everything in him. He can rush, he can cover, he can play the run. He sniffs the ball out really well. If he's there at 56 or we go up to get him, I would have no problem with that whatsoever. I get a feeling he might be gone early second because of the combine. I think that's all he had to really show, like, are you fast enough to be as good as you were in college? Will that translate into the NFL game? And I think he showed that it's got a good chance to do that.
The other linebacker you're talking about was either Ben Roberts or Bryce Ramirez.
No, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else. I don't remember. Maybe it was Ramirez, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, either one. I just know those two backers seem to always make all the plays, and then Rodriguez would stand out because he'd get the picks. You know, he'd be intercepting passes. He'd be getting sacks and that type of thing. So, yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player.
Yeah.
And he would, that would fill the role. You know, that would fill the hole, I should say, left by Devin Lloyd.
Yeah, some of the just notes on his draft profile: elite run defender who keys quickly and fires downhill with real conviction. Sideline to sideline range is legitimate. Active, violent hands when working off blocks. Ball production is absurd. 13 career forced fumbles, 6 interceptions, 5 fumble recoveries for him in college. And by the way, remember, he was a wide receiver quarterback in his freshman year. And quarterback background shows up in pre-snap reads and coverage instincts. A constant mover who frustrates climbing linemen with his ability to avoid getting locked. And then very short list of negatives for him. It does say undersized frame gets washed out when offensive linemen reach the second level cleanly. Missed tackle numbers are higher than you want, partly from over-aggressive angles at times, and then coverage bust shows up too often in 2025, despite strong overall. So it declined a little bit this last year, but overall in his career has been really good.
Yeah, 230, that's tough to defend against big guards that are going to try to, swallow you up. But if you keep him as a will backer, keep him kind of protected, let him roam, he should be pretty good player at the NFL level.
Unless you're thinking of David Bailey.
I was about to say the edge rusher.
Like,
I
didn't think so. Okay,
I know who
I thought
he
you were
is.
talking
He's
about
phenomenal. Absolutely.
Another linebacker.
Yeah.
All right, we've got one linebacker to go. We'll do that on the other side. And Lawrence Layton, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Slam dunk. 1010XL. 92.5 FM.
Looking for golf that doesn't feel like golf? Welcome to Pine Royale, Callahan's new golf entertainment destination. Play a 9-hole par 3 course, compete in TrackMan-powered driving bays, and get ready for all-new 18-hole mini golf coming soon. As the sun goes down, the course lights up. Add in great food, a full bar, and space to hang with the whole crew, and suddenly golf feels a whole lot more social. Search Pine Royale Callahan and come play today.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
From free agency to the draft, training camp to the playoffs, nobody covers the Jags like Jaguars today. Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring the smartest football talk in Duval. Covered by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
We've all seen the Nike logo on many famous athlete shirts and hats. But what is Nike? The answer next.
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Nike is the goddess of victory. No wonder Scotty Scheffler wears that logo.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. Termites, chinch bugs, roaches. It's their time of year to shine. Preventative maintenance is a heck of a lot cheaper than treating an active infestation. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule your free estimate.
Southwest Greens is the OG of artificial turf in North Florida. Stop mowing and start chipping or putting or just relaxing with a beautiful backyard, maintenance free. Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. By now, you've heard the story. How I heard about how much weight some of my dad's friends at the radio station lost with Awaken 180, so I wanted to try it myself. Well, the truth is, it's really incredible. I just met with my Awaken 180 coach, and I've now lost more than 150 pounds. That is a real number, not an exaggeration. Some of you may think, wow, if she lost that much, how much had she gained? Well, that's a story for another day. But what I can tell you is Awaken 180 has changed my life, and maybe saved my life. I thought I might have been at a point of no return, but with Awaken 180, you never are. There's no medications, no fad diets, just a coach you meet with weekly who you can trust, a meal plan that makes sense and that you'll enjoy. It's honestly a miracle. If you want to lose weight, even if you have a lot of weight to lose like me, Awaken 180 truly is the way to go. If that's where you are, try Awaken 180 today.
I'm Frank Frangie, but take it from my kid. If you want to lose weight the right way, call 1-844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Kuhn Flowers. In some Jaguars news, they'll be picking up right tackle Anton Harrison's fifth-year option. Harrison was drafted 27th overall out of Oklahoma in 2023. Bulls running back Xander Edwards has received an offer from the University of Florida. Edwards led Florida in rushing yards in his sophomore season with 2,629 and 44 touchdowns. It's 81 degrees at 3 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
A man walks down the street, he says, why am I soft in the middle now? Why am I soft in the middle? The rest of my life is so hard. I need a photo opportunity.
I don't know if I know this.
I'm waiting for you.
I'm waiting for the chorus.
Okay.
Right.
So what I think I might know this is Who Rescued Who covers this.
Okay.
The band
Yeah,
that
they
we
do.
like.
Uh-huh.
Only reason I know it is because they
Okay.
do it.
Get these mutts away from me, you know. I don't find this stuff amusing.
I know I'm supposed to talk, but here we go.
There you go.
Be my bodyguard. I can be your lawn.
Yeah, I only know this because they do this song, and I always was like, who is this? Why do they cover this song all the time?
So the University of Florida band does this song. Obviously, they don't have anyone singing. It's all instrumental, but they do
Okay.
this song instrumental for men's basketball and football games, too.
Okay.
Really?
But my dad's a big Paul Simon fan. My mom loves Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah,
and
the
so
guy-
growing up, this song, well, all of their music was woven
Played quite
into my
often.
Mhm.
childhood. And that's one of my favorite ones. It's such a fun, upbeat one.
Yeah, that's a good one. It keeps you a smile on your face.
I can picture
Tapping
because
on
the
your
horns.
toes.
Correct.
I just like the horn section.
Taylor
Yep.
loves a good horn section. I will say
do.
that.
Mhm.
All right, let's finish the linebacker, and then I'll get to Lauren's lane. We've got Josiah Trotter from Missouri left.
Yes, Josiah Trotter, son of Jeremiah Trotter, obviously four-time Pro Bowler.
Beast.
His brother also, Jeremiah Jr., was in the Super Bowl for the Eagles. So both dad and brother played for the Eagles. Both linebackers signed with West Virginia, but a leg injury led to him missing the season. He transferred to Mizzou, where he started at middle linebacker, led the Tigers with 84 tackles, 13 for loss, 2 sacks. On the 10th ranked defense. Remember that Mizzou's defense was really, really good. I think we've drafted some players like a Mason Smith off of bad defenses, and sometimes you're like, let me get guys who I know were successful on some good defenses in college. Mizzou's was really, really good. Run defense is his calling card, is what they say about him. So that's something that you're going to focus a lot on a guy like Trotter. Reliable tackler, though, pass rush ability on blitzes. They did use him in that. So, Tommy, when you're talking about having a linebacker that can also get to the quarterback, he's one of those guys that can do that when asked. Shorter arms, though, is his one negative. He doesn't quite have the sideline to sideline range, are the two negatives and hits on him when it comes to there's not a long list for that either. But they did say when you talk about the linebacker prospects in general, and let's see, so he is on the 66th ranked, so it's a little bit, he's right behind Jacob Rodriguez. Jacob Rodriguez is around 56, and then he's 66, so not too far behind him. He is the next linebacker on most of the big boards. So somebody to keep an eye on if Jacob Rodriguez is off the board.
Matt Miller has him going with the 62nd pick.
Yeah. I mean, look, he's all SEC, so you know he's a ball player. Playing middle, I'd be surprised if they go for a true middle because you got Jack behind Foye,
right?
And we crowd the room a little bit, so maybe not just because he's not. Although he's good at blitz, and I like that, but it sounds like he's more of a run head hunting stuff type guy, which is great. We all need one of those, but I think with Foye and Jack, I think the middle linebacker spot is pretty taken care of. But you never know. You know, you never know how they see that kid and see how they could make him fit. There's a kid out of Pitt I like. He's undersized. I think more like a 6th rounder, I think, but he's a real good cover line. So I'm looking for a real good cover guy or a guy that can rush as well as, you know, be a pretty good cover, pretty good against the run, but overall a really good player like Devin.
Kyle Lewis is who you're talking about, right? Kyle Lewis.
Kyle Lewis, yes. I got Kyle Lewis.
220 pounds.
Deontay Lawson, I like out of Bama, 2-time captain. Did tear his ACL, but they feel like he's back. He's a cover backer. And you took care of that. Jake Golday keeps because he's kind of an edge / backer, and maybe he can help. He's a little bit taller, 6'4". Maybe can help you in that regard that Devin helped yet. So, but yeah, those ones you picked are great. We should all have good careers.
It will be interesting. The Kyle Lewis, that's one I've seen him a lot of different spots in mock drafts. Because you said more 6th round.
I thought I saw 5th or 6th, something like that.
Yeah, because this specific big board I'm looking at has him as the 80th overall prospect, and so that would obviously lead a little bit higher than that. But you go different place and different place, and that's why it's kind of fun to follow some of this stuff along because you don't know if these guys are still going to be there when it's time for the Jags to pick, and that's what makes it even more interesting.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Matt Miller has him going in the 3rd round.
Okay, 3rd round, even
70th
better.
to the Browns, and old friend alert. It says free agent signee Quincy Williams is solid. Former Jags draft pick, but then adding Kyle Lewis there as well. All right, so yeah, we'll certainly keep an eye on the linebacking core when it comes to, or the prospects when it comes to the NFL draft as far as the Jaguars are concerned. Time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
We'll step away from football for just a minute here. We talked yesterday a little bit about Rays lefty Shane McClanahan. I wanted to give you all an update after, remember, his last start was August, and as far as Major League Baseball, August of 2023, he ended up having 2 Tommy Johns and then those nerve issues. So that kept him out for that long. He retired 12 of his first 13 batters.
All right.
The only problem is he did have the no-hitter into the 5th inning, but then he had a messy 5th inning. So then he allowed 3 runs, 2 earned on 2 hits and 3 walks. So he still was phenomenal. He said after the game, he was
tired.
He just said, like, yes, it was great to be out there and I did fairly well, but my team lost because the Rays ended up losing 6-2 to the Brewers. But still, everybody was really impressed. His fastball hit 97.4 miles per hour.
Nice.
Yep, and he averaged 95.4 miles per hour. So Really good changeup, really good
Love that.
slider.
What a
Really,
great story.
yeah, really happy for him. And one thing that I didn't know until last night's game is his dad passed away in January. And so now in his glove, he has his dad's initials,
Oh, I
which
love
is really sweet.
Cool.
And also his dad believed that ladybugs were a good luck charm. So he also now has like a little fake ladybug that he carries with him in his bag. So shout out to Shane McClanahan. It was a fantastic, I think, not debut, but return to the Major League Baseball for him.
Absolutely. I mean, going through all that and then being able to get back out there and proving your worth and having a good outing.
And nowadays,
That's
pitching
awesome.
5
That's
innings is honestly good. Yeah,
That's
really
what.
good.
And I mentioned yesterday, I was like, I'd be surprised to see if he's on any sort of pitch count.
Yeah.
I was just looked. He threw 79 pitches, so I wonder if since it happened, it went a little crazy at that point that maybe they cap him for a little while at 65, 70 until you feel like you're easing him in, because that's a long time to not be out there on the mound pitching. And then you talk about I went and looked it up yesterday, and he did do a rehab assignment shortly, but then that's when he got hurt right after that. So then he went straight into spring training because he missed all of last year from that. So it's when you're going through that in spring training, obviously they do get you're pitching, you're full. It's not like our OTAs now. You're out there actually throwing pitches and playing games throughout spring training. But I wouldn't be surprised if maybe they're like, oh, let's cap him at some pitches until we know that how long he can really get going. But to your point, a lot of pitchers now in the 5th inning, the managers are eyeing the bullpen, and it's a little frustrating, but that's just kind of the world we live in now.
Yeah, I feel like Kevin Cash probably should have pulled him after 4, but when you have a guy that's no hitting the other team, like
it's hard to do that.
And that specific guy with all the emotions that he's been through, it's hard to pull him at that point in time. By the way, the Rays are playing the Brewers right now, as a matter of fact, and it is 2-2. The umpire, there was a long delay in the game because the umpire, CB Buckner, who has not been great when it comes to this season so far, whether it's the ABS or whether it's yesterday, he said that the Brewers player was out, that he didn't touch first base, and he so clearly touched first base, it wasn't even funny. But he was hit in the face with a ball and ended up having to leave the game. More baseball to get to. Did you see Jose Fernandez's debut? He's 22 years old. He became just the 8th player in Major League history to hit 2 home runs in his big league debut last night. The Diamondbacks, that's who he plays for, they came back and beat the Tigers 7-5. One of his home runs was the go-ahead 3-run home run.
Kidding.
Yeah, to take the lead. So, and that was off Kenley Jansen.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, future Hall of
Nice.
Famer.
Yeah.
So I thought that was cool to mention. And then the Jumbo Shrimp, unfortunately, lost last night 5-2 to the Sugarland Space Cowboys, but they are playing right now, and they are down, looks like 5-2. They're in the bottom of the 4th. So come on, Jumbo Shrimp.
Yes.
You got to come back and beat the Space Cowboys. That first pitch earlier today was 12:05.
Man, these daytime baseball games, these pro players got it made. They're having happy hour dinner before tee off. You know,
I love the day games.
Heck yeah,
Love
what a,
them.
For
what a
sure.
life.
In college baseball, I have to give
I
a
saw
shout
this.
out to JU and Chris Hayes. They beat Florida last night,
All
4-3
right.
in Gainesville. Yeah, good for them.
Ooh.
It was Florida's first midweek loss, so it happens. But seriously,
Continuing their little bit of a roller coaster.
Yeah,
It was like unranked 21st, 18th, unranked 20th. Something.
But JU, I'm proud of them. They battled.
Yeah, for sure.
And,
Props to the Dolphins.
Right, and Florida, by the way, hit 6
It was a late
batters.
rally, too. Yeah.
It was,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah,
You're
you
like
can't hit.
the little brother. Way to go, kid.
I love Chris Hayes. And JU, look, and they talked about this during the broadcast, which I was really impressed. They actually talked about how it's hard for teams like JU and other mid-majors, UNF, as we know as well, because bigger league teams come and poach their players. And I don't
Constantly.
normally hear that kind of candid honesty on a Gator broadcast, but you would on the JU or UNF broadcast, but not the Florida broadcast. So I thought that was cool. But our guy, Colt Myers, hit a leadoff triple. So that was cool to see.
Very cool.
Last night. So by the way, the Florida Gators play host because of Easter weekend. All the games are going to be tomorrow night at the beginning of the 3-game series. So Florida plays host to Ole Miss. You can hear that game on 10:10 a.m. in the AM stream. The game begins at 6:30, but we will pick up the coverage at 7 p.m. And JU, by the way, plays host to Stetson this weekend for a 3-game series beginning tomorrow night at 7. The Frangie Show will be there tomorrow from 4 to 6. FSU did beat Stetson on the road last night 6-3. And then FSU is on the road this weekend, 3-game series at Virginia. And UNF's 6-game win streak, unfortunately, came to an end last night. They lost to Georgia Southern 3-2. And then this weekend, the Ospreys play host to Queens for a 3-game series. First pitch tomorrow night at 6:05. So just a reminder, the fact that all the games in college baseball, not all, but most of the games in college baseball now are going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday for this weekend only. So that way everybody's off on Sunday for Easter. We are going to go to the Jumbo Shrimp game, by the way, tomorrow night.
Oh, nice.
It's Thirsty Thursday, and it's also fantasy football punishment night.
I did see that, actually. That's hilarious.
So excited to see what punishments people have to serve.
A lot of drinking, I would imagine.
People come up with some creative, wild stuff for this fantasy. Yeah, that'll be a good time.
Yeah.
I like that they're leaning into that, too.
Absolutely. I want to say they did it last year, too, but we didn't go to that one last year. All right, back to some NFL discussion when it comes to the schedule. You're listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Who are you? I am the architect. I created 1010XL.
A world
I've been waiting for you.
where anything is possible.
1010XL.
With 50 years of fabrication expertise in towing products, the family at Cannons of Jacksonville can repair or install precisely what you need to tow with confidence. Visit cannonsofjacks.com, where quality and customer satisfaction collide.
Frank Frangie here for Bono's Pit Barbecue. Bono's has been serving Jacksonville's best barbecue for over 75 years. And now, catch this. Bono's new limited time offer features an Atlantic fried cod platter with 2 pieces of mouth-watering fried cod and 1 southern side for $15.49, or a fried cod sandwich with 1 southern side for $12.99. You can't beat that deal. And after 1 bite, you'll be hooked. So you better hurry in. The fried cod platter right now at Bono's. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's bothering you?
I've been struggling with a bit of procrastination, Jason.
You? Procrastinate?
I meant to tell you before, but I guess I, kind of put it off.
I get that.
But then you said spring is the best time to get my air conditioner checked before the summer heat hits, and I thought, what if I put that off too?
Uh-oh.
I mean, what if I wait too long to call for my spring service and you guys get too busy with emergency repairs and new installations and you can't spare a service tech to come do my tune-up?
Dude, put on your Bueller shades.
Whoa.
Just join the Bueller Air and Plumbing Maintenance Program. We'll call you twice a year, in the spring and the fall, to schedule your free AC tune-up. Procrastination defeated.
Hey, that's great. I really should sign up one of these days.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
When someone excels in and out of the classroom, we should celebrate it.
That's why 1010XL brings you the Southeast Orthopedic Specialists Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Wednesdays on The Frangie Show, tuned up by
The Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Frank Frangie here. If you're expecting a tax return this year, here's a smart way to use it. Invest in new tires from Big Chief Tire. It's one of the best things you can do for your car and your safety. I've been going to Big Chief for years because they do it right every time. Put that refund to good use and hit the road with confidence. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today and let Big Chief take care of you. That's Big Chief Tire.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
If you or someone you know are having a special day soon, perhaps the birth of a baby or a big birthday for a senior citizen, Kuhn Flowers will send the perfect arrangement. JJ LaSelva here with 1010XL, and I've personally experienced the magic of a Kuhn Flowers delivery. Log on or call KuhnFlowers.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
By the way, Fernando Mendoza is having his pro day today here on April Fool's Day. No fooling to be had, though. He's showcasing his arm there on air as it were. You can take that what you will. I know Trevor Lawrence had Urban Meyer right beside him on his pro day, and Urban wanted to hear
it coming out of his hand.
Yeah, he wanted to hear it coming out of his hand. Trevor Lawrence has a lot more to offer than just throwing on air.
Can't stand that man.
I understand that. But yeah, as we're talking prospects, Fernando Mendoza is not going to be available by the time the Jaguars pick. And even if he was, I don't
Thank
think
God.
he
I
would
don't
be
want.
on
I don't
their
want to
big
have that conversation. If we were picking in the top 5 of do they need to trade up to get Fernando?
Yeah,
Mendoza?
no kidding. I mean, I wouldn't want a quarterback this year. You know, if you're a team, I don't know. Ty Simpson's interesting, but he's moving up the boards because it doesn't feel like there's anybody else.
See,
you know
and
what I
it's
mean?
interesting. I would have thought that a guy like Garrett Nussmeier from LSU, Carson Beck, obviously, between
You're not
Georgia
hearing
and
their
Miami.
names, though.
No,
Are
you're
you?
not.
Are you guys
As
hearing
far
their
as
names?
moving up, no. But the quarterbacks always, like 2 weeks before the draft, is when you'll start to really feel that urgency and panic. Because what's crazy is, Taylor, what do the Jets do at pick 2? Like, everyone has them penciled in getting a linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, a defensive player, not necessarily a linebacker, but getting a defensive player. They need a quarterback.
Yeah. And I've heard a lot of people just in the draft world saying like it is kind of a situation where they probably feel like they don't love the quarterbacks right now. And so instead, do you build other places? And then the talk is next year, which we did this last year of, wait until next year's quarterback class. And then nobody performed the way you thought because it was like, Nussmeier and Klubnik and Beck and all of these guys. And then all of a sudden you were like, never mind. You're not even talking about those. You're talking about Fernando Mendoza and if Chambliss is going to go into the NFL draft or not. So we will see at this time next year if we're still talking as high about the quarterbacks as we are right now. But that's a lot of people's thought process is, okay, maybe build in some other places. You have a lot of picks. The Jets obviously sent off a lot of players and brought in a lot of first round picks the next couple years. And so maybe they're like, we have a lot of capital, high capital to be able to, and we don't like the quarterbacks this year. So let's go for it next year and get by now.
Geno Smith, man. He's going to take him.
Yeah.
That's
And Matt
what the
Miller's
coach said.
7-round mock, he does have the Jets getting Ty Simpson with pick 33.
Okay.
If you know in advance that you don't have to get a quarterback in the first round and you can still wait till the first pick of the second round, sure, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know that that's how things are going to go.
Yeah.
I just when you have to press for a QB, that's when you get in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I'm not nothing against Ty Simpson. He was a fine quarterback. You know what I mean? But it's like, okay, I'm there at 33. Do we need a well, we'd like to have a young guy. You know, it's almost like, I don't know. It feels like taboo almost when you press. You know what I mean? Like if he was clearly number 2, he's right next to Mendoza. You know, like you're like, no, it's 1 and 2. These guys are really tight.
We've seen that a lot.
Yeah, you're not hearing that at all. So I don't know. I never want to be in a position where I have to draft a QB. You know, now drafting one later because he's your highest on the board, and you just think, hey, who knows? I can get some. Maybe we get lucky. I'm all for that, but not when you got to press. And look, I made a joke about Coach Glenn saying, about Geno Smith. Geno Smith is going to, take us to the promised land. Well, if you get the Geno that played well with Seattle, maybe, he might help you a little bit.
Yeah.
And maybe it could buy you a year. I don't have to be forced to take
Look how good
Ty
that
Simpson.
team was around Geno Smith in
I know.
Seattle now that we get,
I'm not trying to sell you Geno Smith. I'm just saying, like, I might roll with him.
You're not going to reach for a
I'm
quarterback.
not going to reach.
Yeah.
I don't want to press for a QB, man. It never seems to work when you do that.
Yeah. The Jags obviously last year got an undrafted free agent in Seth Hennigan from Memphis as a potential camp arm.
Right.
Because to your point, Tommy, if you have Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson, who people talk about being 2 of the better at their positions. I'm a fan of Mason Taylor. They added A.D. Mitchell. They have their picks this year. They have the number 2, 16, 33, and 44. So let's say you can get Ty Simpson at 33. You still have 2, 16, and 44 to get if you draft right, premier spots and players that can come in and start right away. So if they feel like I don't want to pick them at 2 or 16, but if Ty or if whoever starts climbing at that point and you can get him at 33 or 44, you get your quarterback and you get 3 other high draft picks that hopefully it's
the
starting
44 wouldn't be pressing to me. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you're like, oh, okay, second round, we already had 3 picks. So let's
But
take a shot at this
the
kid.
problem is organizations panic about quarterbacks.
You know it.
And because of that, they then don't take the best
Unless you're
player
the Browns.
available.
Yeah. They seem to panic on every position that starts running. You know, there'll be like a rip in a stocking. It'll be like running for 4 picks in a row because people are like, oh, the tackles are going to be gone. I got to get a tackle or the safety or whatever.
Oh, that gives me
jump.
PTSD from having to wear pantyhose in high school when it was cold because we had to wear skirts. We had no options of anything other than skirts, and so if it was slightly chilly, you had to put pantyhose on. And yes, there were lots of tears. So like the Cardinals also need a quarterback. Oh, by the way, and they're going to take as of mock drafts. Francis Mauigo, the offensive tackle from Miami, phenomenal tackle, and that's the better move. But do the Cardinals panic and take Ty Simpson? I'm not predicting that they're going to. But you can't just sit back and say, well, we'll get Ty Simpson at pick 33 or beyond because you don't know what these other teams are going to do.
Yeah, the Cardinals, I could definitely see being a team that waits for next year. But it is, when you talk about windows, we've talked, that word window and how long do you think that window's there? Because you have a Marvin Harrison Jr. and a Trey McBride, 2 of the better offensive weapons.
Yeah, especially Trey.
And so, but I don't know how confident you are going into the season with Jacoby Brissett and Gardner Minshew as your quarterbacks. But if you do feel like Brissett could win you 7 games and you almost don't want to win a lot, if you feel like one of the quarterbacks next year you'd rather go for. And that's the tricky part about the drafts now is if you want to improve your team every single year, but if you're a team that's in a spot that needs a quarterback, you don't want to be too good next year because then you don't draft high enough to get one of the top QBs. So it's this weird cycle, and that's why so many teams have dealt with quarterback issues for so long. It's a weird cycle, and it's hard to hit on them. So
yeah, I mean, you talk about that division too. I don't know the window of those 2 young players for sure, but gosh, can you imagine being in their division? They're like looking up, like, can we throw us a bone?
It feels like,
we have your
so
scraps.
far away. Yeah. Obviously, the Titans pick 4th. They're not going to take a quarterback. They like their guy in Cam Ward. The Giants pick 5th. They've got Jackson Dart.
Yep.
The Browns have a million quarterbacks. I have no idea what the Browns are going to do. They'd be smart not to take a quarterback, but who knows?
Yep.
The Commanders have their guy. They pick 7, and obviously in Jaden Daniels. The Saints, I think they like Shuck. So probably not going to pick a quarterback at 8. Chiefs clearly not going to pick a quarterback at 9, and then Bengals not going to pick a quarterback at 10 with Joe Burrow. Miami Dolphins, that's another possibility. They could potentially go quarterback.
They just paid Malik.
Yeah, they just paid Malik.
What if Malik Willis isn't the answer? Do you want to have another guy?
I don't think you do it in the first round, especially in this draft. I could see them taking a quarterback in like the 4th round, Miami, just one of those guys that are sitting there late. So in case you have a backup, but I don't think you just paid Malik Willis a lot of money. So I don't know if you could use your first round pick on one.
Yeah, no, like you might catch back later, I don't know where he's going to end up,
Yeah, I've seen 3rd round a lot.
For
bring him back to Miami. He already has a mansion and a car down there. So
there you go. Cowboys pick 12, not a quarterback. Rams 13, nope. Ravens 14, nope. Bucks 15, nope. And then Jets again at 16. So it is just interesting how many teams that are picking in the top half of the first round of the draft already have solidified quarterbacks. That means something went wrong with their season last year that didn't have to do with, it could have been
a lot of those injuries.
But the NFL schedule, Taylor, the NFL is not going to schedule Monday night doubleheaders. I think most of us who like to fall asleep before 11 p.m. are excited about that. And so now it's going to make more money, basically. I'll translate this, and put games into single windows like Thanksgiving, like Christmas, things like that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I did not like having a game that was starting at 9 or 10 p.m. It just doesn't. And then even some of them they did closer, but even then you're choosing between 2 games or trying to flip back and forth. And I just don't think that logistically it made sense. Realistically, if you're in Central Time or the East Coast, it didn't make sense. Maybe if you're on the West Coast, you were like, oh, this is kind of nice. They were getting a 3 o'clock game and an 8 o'clock game or something like that. So maybe that
like the first Monday Night Football doubleheader last year, like a 6 o'clock and a 9 o'clock.
It
or
was
something. And I was like, why aren't all of these this spread out and also this early? But to your point, then that's a 3 o'clock game for
them.
Coast.
Yeah, and so that. I don't know. I don't think it made any sense to have the 2. And 2 makes sense if you're playing on a Saturday for, like whatever this year they had the Saturday weekend, the 1. And so maybe do an early and a late, but not starting at 6 and 9 or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I feel like somebody confused me I've retweeted it and was like, good, I can't stay up for the later games anyways on Monday night. It's hard. And then someone was like, oh, they're losing money and people are losing their jobs. I was like, I think this is gaining jobs. You're putting a whole nother, like a solo day and it's probably going to be on a holiday, so you're going to get paid more on holidays. People are off on holidays, so they watch more sporting events on those days when it comes to that. And so I do think that the NFL's so smart when it comes to scheduling. And I feel like they know what they're doing in the sense of they tried this way with the 2 where they're like, oh, this will be really fun. It's Monday night extravaganza with multiple games. And they probably didn't see the outcome they wanted. So they're shifting it.
Wait, let me ask you this. Is it, if you had NFL every night, that'd be too much?
I think it would oversaturate the
Like if you had a game
viewership.
every night, let's just say it, however they work that out. Would you
'cause
be
then it
looking
doesn't-
forward to a game like, oh, it's Tuesday night, I can't wait? Or would you be like,
I'll speak
It's
for
Tuesday
me.
night.
I would not watch every single night. Like I like, say, there's some college football games on a Thursday night or a Friday night that I'll pay attention to.
Mhm.
Obviously, I like to protect Friday nights for high school football
Sure.
too. Saturdays, college football. But if you're saying, like Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night, I don't think people would be as excited. If you're a fan of the team,
If
you'd be
your team is
excited
playing,
that
maybe.
night. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it would just kind of be background noise.
I don't know. I
I
kind of
think
like
it would
the
be
break.
I think, and I get the reasoning for both. I think it could be beneficial in the sense of on Sunday, how many games do you realistically get to watch on Sunday? So spreading those out, you would be able to watch a lot more actual watch football and know more players and know how those teams are rather than on Sunday checking box scores and watching your game.
That's why they have, by the way, the international games start at 9:30
earlier.
Eastern.
So you can watch more. You have the 9, 1,
Correct.
4, and 8,
Correct.
and then Monday and Thursday, obviously. So it spreads it out as much as possible.
Do they care about player safety if they have games on Tuesdays and Wednesdays? No.
No, well, they don't, and that's another part of that.
Yeah, I don't know how you
You can't
schedule
play
all that.
Sunday and
They-
then play Tuesday
No,
or
right.
Wednesday.
Well,
Like,
so
it's-
speaking of that, I had bookmarked this because they also announced yesterday when it came to the scheduling, NFL owners have approved a change to the scheduling policy clarifying that Friday games are no longer considered short weeks. Previously, teams were limited to 2 short week games per season, typically Thursday games with less rest. That rule still applies, but now Friday games and Black Friday or Christmas this year don't count towards that limit. So a team can play 2 Thursday short week games and be scheduled for a standalone Friday game, giving TV partners like Amazon more flexibility.
and
That-
go international.
Yeah, that's why you don't care about player safety at that
No.
point, in my opinion,
No,
because you're telling me that someone can play on a Sunday night and then Friday have another game, but like Thursday is short, so that's not enough rest. But Friday is enough rest.
Right.
It makes no sense. So in that realm, I don't think it makes any sense. I just think the NFL's about money, and that's what
Yeah.
they want to do for the most part.
Well, that's why they want the 18th game.
Yeah.
It's more revenue.
Yeah.
You know, and the players don't want it. I say if I'm a player, then pay me that extra game. Like, don't just say now all of a sudden my salary is based off 18 games. It's based off 17. If you want me to play an 18th game, let's
Yeah,
divide
then I need
that
more
by
money.
17 and then give
How
me
much
that
I'm getting a
extra
game
money.
and add a game.
Yeah, all they're going to do is take away one of the preseason games.
Yeah.
And so then it's only 2 preseason games, and then it's going to be 18 regular season games. So they're going to argue it's the same amount of games you have now.
Yeah, but we're not
3.
playing in the preseason if you're like a starter for the
Yeah,
most part.
and the
Getting
leagues are,
paid.
they're going to argue the team's making way more money off a regular,
regular
season game
season.
than they
Right.
are a
But
preseason game.
I'm sure that what they're going to tell the players is you're getting paid for 20 games now, whether you play or not in the preseason, and it's going to be 20 games moving forward because they're greedy. Like they're
Yeah,
not going to end up paying the players more unless.
I mean,
the
they
players-
do pay the players more every
they
single
get
year, so they
50%,
do.
yeah.
But I mean, as far
Yeah.
as like on that per
Yeah.
game basis, unless they negotiate the players in the CBA to be able to make more money because the schedule.
Well,
changes.
in the CBA, the players get 50% roughly of the revenue, right? So if there's additional revenue, they got to figure out a way to give them that money somehow.
Right.
Right.
And a lot of them too, they'll have like incentives when it comes to like snap count or certain numbers like that, but that will count for the regular season. And so now they do get an extra game of numbers when it comes to that. So I'm sure players will be arguing that too, in the sense of, to your point, Tommy, I played one series in the preseason game, and now I have to play however many snaps in a regular season game.
Right. And for the record, your contract don't start till the regular season. So you only get a stipend for the
preseason.
You know what I mean? So it is an extra game. I don't know. I mean, look, I know Deion Dawkins, like you're going to take careers off. Over time, you will. That extra game will. I mean, if you play 10 years and there's an extra game, you'll feel that effect, I would imagine.
Especially
but,
if you go deep in the postseason.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I don't mind the extra game, but I know if I'm a player, I'd be like, all right, you want me to play an extra regular season game? Well, then let's figure out how you're going to compensate me for that.
And yeah, I'm sure the
owner's going to say, screw you.
There will be a
Too
debate
bad.
back and forth, and then eventually they'll settle on something because I don't think we'll ever see an NFL lockout. They're way too smart. Both sides are for that. All right, the golden moment awaits on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's the way the game was meant to be heard. Raw, real, and right in your ear.
Right side coming! Touchdown!
Feel the energy on 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Yo, ET here. And you know that on the field, preparation wins championships, right? Well, the same goes for your health. Right here in my side of town in Fleming Island, Encore Research Group is helping locals take charge through cutting-edge research studies. Everything from weight loss to diabetes and hypertension. Their team of local, multi-specialty doctors is focused on advancing medicine and keeping our community healthy. If you want to see if you qualify, check them out at EncoreDocs.com.
Frank Frangie here. Nimnik Chevrolet is proud to be a 9-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Trust me, I know this. I've been dealing with Nimnik forever, and they really are that good. You know, for 3 generations, Nimnik's been the place customers keep coming back to. Customers like me, treating you right, giving the most back to our community, more choices and better prices. It's just the best place to buy cars, and I can promise you that. So who gives you the best experience when you're buying a car? Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
When you're hungry, go big, and more importantly, go to Dailies, where they got anything and everything to tantalize your taste buds and fill you up. At Dailies, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is slow smoked to perfection, tender, juicy, and full of bold flavor. It's the kind of sandwich that truly satisfies. Try the barbecue brisket sandwich at Dailies. Meanwhile, some favorites never go out of style. The Duval sub at Dailies is stacked, loaded, and made with the bold flavor you want in every bite. Fresh ingredients, big taste. It's a local favorite. Grab the Duval sub today at Dailies. Or maybe you just want a delicious chicken sandwich. Some choices just work. The chicken sandwich at Dailies is crispy on the outside, it's juicy on the inside, and it is full of flavor. Perfect for lunch, perfect for dinner, perfect anytime hunger hits. So grab the chicken sandwich today at Dailies. Dailies is made fresh, it's made local, and Dailies is built for big appetites. I'll see you there today.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a warehouse operations manager.
Where are the forklifts?
Sold them. Too expensive. We're using scooters now.
So you expect us to move a 2-ton pallet on a scooter?
Just lean into it. Put your back into it, people.
This is a job for sponsored jobs.
This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
Mark your calendar for Friday, April 17th at the Yards for the 2nd annual Birdies and Bounces, presented by the Mackenzie Noel Wilson Foundation. This premier golf and pickleball tournament brings together competition, community, and purpose for an unforgettable day on the course and courts. Proceeds benefit the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, helping create great futures for local kids. Register or learn more at bgcnf.org and click events. Join us for a day of fun and impact for youth in our community.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Congratulations to Mike Pickett. He is Northeast Florida's all-time leader in state championships for high school girls soccer. He decided to step down after 28 years at the helm of St. John's Country Day. That's right. He did let the Times-Union know yesterday morning that he is going to step down. He won 15 Florida High School Athletic Association championships and had 3 first-place finishes across multiple national rankings. Yes, his record, 572, 72, and 41.
Holy cow.
Over the 29 seasons.
My goodness.
572, 72, and 41. That means, over all that time, just lost 72 times and then tied 41 times, which, of course, ties in soccer are
Right.
much more common than in a lot of other sports. But yeah, I wanted to give a shout out to Mike Pickett. That is unbelievable. 15 state
Dang,
championships.
Mike, that's awesome. Congrats. Enjoy retirement.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because they teach too. A lot of those guys, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so he's probably got a nice.
I don't know the specifics of St. John's Country Day, but I know for sure, like most of my soccer coaches at Bishop Kenny, I guess I shouldn't say most. For 2 years, I had coaches that were also teachers, and for 2 years, I had a coach that was able to be brought in just to coach. So
Okay.
yeah, I think it just depends. I don't know if that's a private versus a public thing.
Yeah.
I just know how it worked for us.
Yeah, because I know talking to Dylan Denmark, the
Right.
reason he left is because if he was coaching, he had to also teach in some form or fashion at
Right.
that school. So, and he's at a public school. So I'm like, maybe public and private
Yeah.
are different in
Yeah.
that sense.
Yeah. Good.
I don't know all the rules. And different counties. Different counties, obviously,
Well,
have different rules in that.
In reality, I mean, look, teachers need to be paid more money, but a lot of those coaches aren't paid a lot of money. I mean, just to coach.
Oh yeah, it's like
That's like
what, like 5,000 for a
kid,
season?
sometimes it's less. I mean, I remember when reading that, I'm like, oh my gosh, like they're really doing it out of the goodness of their hearts. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, especially the position coaches and
yeah.
stuff. They're just doing it because they love to do it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, for the love of raising up well, not raising
the youth.
but like,
Yeah, the youths.
pouring into the youth.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that
the
is
community,
important.
nation.
you know?
Yeah.
Looping back around because we were talking a little bit about the linebackers earlier, and throughout the week we're going to continue some other position groups. But I just saw, because we were talking about Bruce Feldman and his obviously freaks list, and his recent released mock, the Jags trade up to pick 30 to select Clemson defensive tackle Peter Woods. I like Peter Woods a lot. He's one of my favorite guys in that first round. You definitely have to get into the first round to be able to get him. He's a versatile guy. He's played edge. He's played on the interior in that. So few notes on him when you talk about his draft profile right now. First step explosion is absolutely devastating for a man his size. His hip flexibility and body control defy the laws of physics at 315 pounds. Hand strike with legitimate concussive force. Is that the word? Sideline to sideline range belongs on a much smaller player. Swipe move is legitimately nasty and has become his bread and butter pass rush weapon. Scheme versatility allows him to align anywhere from nose to five technique, split time at defensive end and tackle, showing comfort in multiple fronts. Athletic testing numbers are freakish for his size. Verified 4'8", 40, 490 pound bench, 700 pound squat, and 33-inch vertical, over 310 pounds.
That's a massive human being in a freak show.
The
Holy
only
cow.
downside is Clemson obviously didn't have a great season offensively or defensively last year, so it doesn't bode as far as that part of things is concerned. But yeah, I know he's going to go in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's projected pretty high. I mean, I don't think we could get him. Although I saw him at 41, I thought that kid Lee Hunter from Texas A&M.
Yeah, I like Lee Hunter too.
He's 6'4", 330, ran like a 5 flat. I mean, that guy, that's big and fast.
Matt Miller has him going 72nd, so in the third round to the Bengals, and he also is from Texas Tech.
Maybe in the third round, you know? You can find them in all shapes and sizes, man.
That's why you probably, I'm not going to predict what this regime is going to do because they've been bold.
No, right.
But
We've also seen 1 year, so it's hard to
very
get
small
trends.
sample size.
True.
But I would want to keep some of my third rounders because I feel like if you're going to have to get up into the end of the first round, you're giving up probably the majority of your third rounders. So yes, you might be getting one really good prospect, but then you're not going to get more of those guys in that round. But hey, like I said, we'll see what they decide to do.
Just got to hit on him, right? If you move up, whoever you grab, he's got to be the guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they did it last year.
That's what I was about to say. They were bold
got the
last
guy.
year.
Yeah.
If they love the guy, they love the guy.
Yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, look, they say they're bold. You know, they're being quiet. You know?
Yeah, wasn't it interesting? Liam Cohen said earlier this week at the NFL owners meetings that he was window shopping.
Window shopping. Yeah,
like,
yeah. He
Mom
was.
and Dad, I want that.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have
it.
Yeah. So
I wonder how many times like these guys have the conversations through this process. And obviously there's different scouts going to different places. They come back, report their information, and you go through the whole process of that. And how many times one coach is like, no, I really, really want this guy. And then you don't end up getting that guy. And then that guy's really good. And later you're like, I told you we should have drafted that guy. I wonder how much those conversations have, because they're competitors too
They
at
battle.
that level.
Yeah, because they get points for it. Like if the guys you you scouted and they end up being draft picks, end up being good players. Like, oh, you know what you're doing. Like, let's see you go find more. I mean, they battle in camp. Like, no, we got to keep him, and this is why. And, we got to have this guy. And the other guy's like, no, we don't. We got to have my guy. My guy's this and that. But they do. They battle for those kids.
And then roster cuts happen, and you get to the point where you're like, okay, do we get an extra wide receiver? Do we keep an extra linebacker? What does that look like? And those are your guys, so you're fighting for them.
That's why we need the one-on-ones with the coaches like we have with offensive line versus defensive line. We need those guys to go at
debates.
Let's see who wins. Do you remember Urban Meyer's training camp where he would yell like winners, losers?
Gosh, yeah, we remember
that. Oh, it was so terrible.
He
I would accidentally run into him. Sorry, Coach. I
hope he took the loser sign with him because
he's got it tattooed on the back of his neck.
I sure as heck hope so. All right, the best of the day awaits on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels, 1010 XL, 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Jacksonville, get ready. April 6th, the Florida Theater presents Leonid and Friends. This 11-piece band brings the sound of Chicago to life. Horns, vocals, all the energy. Hear favorites from Chicago, Earth, Wind & Fire, Stevie Wonder, and more. One night only, April 6th. Get your tickets now at floridatheater.com.
Do you remember?
Frank Frangie here for South State Bank. South State has helped our businesses and charity grow and thrive. Whether you're expanding your operations, managing cash flow, or planning for the future, South State Bank offers forward-thinking, tailored solutions to meet your unique business needs. With expert guidance and best-in-class service, South State is here to help you move your business forward. Visit southstatebank.com or stop by your local branch today. Let South State become your partner in taking your business to the next level. That's South State Bank, member FDIC.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow. Mirrors cut exactly to your style. Fogged or broken glass replaced. Decorative tabletops. Windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Tell me if this is you, because it's definitely me. I go to bed thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up early, jump in that ice bath I just bought, have a good breakfast, go for a morning walk, and order a veggie for my side instead of fries. Then the morning arrives. I press snooze, skip everything else I planned because I'll do it tomorrow. But that's the Awaken 180 difference. Tomorrow is today. It's so easy. You want to do it. Your coach will be there to help you do it. You won't want to let her down. Accountability, ease, feeling great. That's the Awaken 180 difference. Now you can download an app, Google a weight loss plan, or buy the latest gadget. But who actually helps you follow through when you couldn't do it before? I lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, and it was easy. No meds. I couldn't lose 5 pounds in a month on my own. Awaken 180 works, and it continues to work because it's set up to not let you fail. Succeed like we did at Awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Tom McManus, Taylor Dull, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Wednesday afternoon. Time now for the Pest of the Day. It's always brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. It's TERMINIX.com, TERMINIX.com. They do a fabulous job taking care of any pest control issues at Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. Hopefully those jumbo shrimp are going to come back and win that baseball game. By the way, speaking of ViStar Park, it looks like nope, unfortunately they ended up losing 10-3.
Oh,
dang it.
Not a good day at the
to the Space Cowboys.
I guess either the mound or the plate.
That's right. Hopefully bounce back
they'll
tomorrow
be
night, because we'll be there tomorrow night. First pitch 7:05. All right, so the pest of the day, the people who do the April Fool's Day pranks that are serious, like when you're trying to trick people into believing something that really is not true.
Like a
And it's
death
not
or
just-
something.
Correct. And it's
Yeah.
not just sports related. It's like a
Right.
legit one that people
Yeah.
fall for. I don't like those. Like if you want to have silly stuff and I click on something about Florida football and
Yeah.
it's not real, okay, I can live
Right.
with that. I did see a year ago today, someone tweeted out that DJ Lagway has entered the portal. And then was like, oh, actually, this came true.
Yeah, you're like, well, now
It was-
Just a little later.
But when people, especially, you know this, Taylor, with graphics and how good people are at graphics
Oh, yeah.
these days, it
Yeah.
looks
you jump on
real.
Canva and you can make it. So it's like anybody can
and
do
so
that.
the one
Right.
that I fell for was a graphic that I thought was ESPN, and it was the way too early top 25 college football rankings. And look, this doesn't affect my day.
Yeah.
I was excited to see
Those ones
Florida
are
was
funny.
ranked 9th, and then I clicked the link and I was I was on ESPN's website to try and figure out where it actually that data was. And I was like, I don't see it anywhere. And then that was my first.
You're like,
clue. I was like, I
oh,
think
they
this
got
might
me.
be fake. I've now wasted about 5 minutes of my life on a work day. Thanks a lot, person. But
Yeah.
that one, like I said, doesn't bother me. Don't do the like the hoax of people who died.
Yeah, we did our one this morning, Jacob and I. We were like, we have to do something on social just to like make it, have a little fun on social media today for April Fool's Day. So, and it's happened to me a few times where I've fallen for it, not on April Fool's Day, but like other days where people will say, like this video, something, and then you click it and then it's just a loading sign, but then it's just a video of loading. It makes you think the video is trying to load. So we were like, what if we do something like that, but make the caption where people want to watch the video? So we did that on all of the social media platforms, but we were like, Josh Hines Allen spotted working out with Max Crosby in Florida, and the amount of people that were like, dang it, you got me. And I'm like, stuff like
that
that's
wasn't real?
fun. No.
Oh, no kidding.
You did get, you got
I just saw it. I was like, okay, they're working out. Another workout video. Here we go. I didn't know that was.
Yeah, the
real.
video
That's
just never
funny.
stops loading.
I figured it
Okay.
out because the video didn't work.
Yeah, I
and
didn't
was
even watch it long enough for that, but I saw the squall.
like
Like, oh,
4
they're working out
seconds.
together. All right, cool. Good. Maybe I'll learn something.
I love it. Like I said, the video itself was only like 4 seconds. Update on that Rays Brewers game, still knotted at 2, and it is now the bottom of the 7th. So I'm trying to
Go
get
Rays.
I'm trying to get Taylor a victory over the Brewers over here.
Hate those guys.
Do you?
Oh, I was listening to this. I sent the video last night to Dan Hicken because there's a new podcast where it's David Ross and Anthony Rizzo, and they're doing this new podcast. Hilarious, first of all, because they're going through, like, even if you're not a Cubs fan, if you're a baseball fan or just whatever, like hearing the kind of behind the scenes stories of some of this, because they go through kind of the start of that 2015 run because they made the postseason that year. They got beat by the Mets in the postseason that year. Daniel Murphy just crushed us that series. And then next year, obviously, win the World Series. And so Anthony Rizzo on one part was like, yeah, and then, you get let down in certain moments when you feel like you're almost there and then you just can't do it. And then Ross was like, yeah, man, that series against the Mets, Daniel Murphy. And then Rizzo goes, F him, but like says the F word like very loud. He's like, F Daniel Murphy. And then he's like, I'm just kidding. He was a teammate later. Like, he's a good guy. We're friends now. But I like sent the screenshot to D Murph and Dan because I was like, this is just funny. And D Murph's like, oh, I know Cubs fans hate me for that. But
It's good to be hated.
Oh, yeah. If you're doing something right, if a whole fan base like comes back and is
God, he's so
traumatized
nice,
a little
too.
bit.
How
Oh,
could
Daniel
anybody
Murphy's the
not
nicest.
like Daniel Murphy?
Yeah, well,
Unless
because when
he
he
goes
hits
on a tear.
multiple, if he hits multiple home runs
Correct.
and beats you, I think it kind of indicates that.
You
But there
don't
was
like
another
him
part
very
where
much.
Rizzo goes into the story about how during the rain, or did he say, was it before Game 7 maybe? He was trying to like loosen everybody up because he's like, everybody was so tense. Obviously, like a very intense moment for this team. It's Game 7 of the World Series. You haven't won in 108 years, but the Guardians hadn't won in a long time either. And you came back being down in the series, and so there's like all of these storylines. And he's like, everyone's so tense. I was trying to loosen them up, and so he ended up going through it. He said he was naked, completely naked, gets up on the table and starts like doing this dance to try and just like calm everybody down. And then I guess someone throws like shoe polish on him or something. And he was like, it kind of turned bad very quickly. And I was just trying to lighten the mood. And I was cracking up. The whole thing is hilarious though. So if you are a baseball fan or a Cubs fan,
the manager got naked?
No, Rizzo.
Oh, the Rizzo got naked.
Joe Madden did not get naked.
Okay.
I'll leave that right there.
Skip, put your pants on.
All right, let's head out to Liberty Landscape and say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hayes, I can see you on the stream, and I see some beautiful flowers behind you.
Yeah, this place is gorgeous. We're at Liberty Landscape Supply right here on San Jose Boulevard. It used to be Trads, if you're familiar with that. We're kind of near Bowles. But yeah, come see us. Liberty Landscape Supply is proud to sponsor the Jacksonville Icemen. They've got the Whiteout Cancer Night this Friday at 7 p.m. And there's a great deal. Be one of the first 25 customers to come in wearing Iceman gear, make a purchase of $50 or more, and you will score a pair of tickets to that game. So looking forward to seeing a bunch of Iceman fans out here today, and certainly we'll talk tons of Jaguars coming up on the Frangie Show. I was in Orlando earlier today for that press conference, so give you guys the rundown on that and just other things sort of, that Baselli and Shad and Lamping talked about. And so lots of Jaguars coming up. We'll also talk Final Four, and we'll talk some Gators and Knowles as well. So should be a fun Frangie Show. So come see us at Liberty Landscape Supply out here on San Jose Boulevard.
Just out of curiosity, Hayes, how long did it take you to get to and from Orlando today?
About probably like 2 hours on the dot.
Okay. I feel like fans...
Not too bad.
Yeah, fans want to know that kind of stuff. All right, sounds good. Thanks so much. We'll be listening.
All right, thank you.
Like I said, if you were watching on the stream, you can see the beautiful plants and flowers that they have. Absolutely. I
was wondering what you were both. You guys were both staring past me the whole time, and I was like, "What is happening?"
Hardware or something.
No, even better. Liberty Landscape
exactly.
Supply. I have a complaint. This has nothing to do with Liberty Landscape Supply. We have these beautiful daisies in our yard, right? Like 2 different pots. One daisy's yellow, one daisy is pink, and something is getting the daisies, one right before it bloomed and the other after it bloomed. Is it squirrels? Like the text line may know.
Yeah.
Designed by
well, ask the text line because I have no green thumb.
I Googled it earlier and it's like maybe squirrels, but I'm very frustrated, Tom. You don't understand. These daisies are just gorgeous.
Get a BB gun.
I'm not
squirrel.
But I'm not usually outside watching the squirrels.
Like Keaton sick them.
Keaton will sick the squirrels, but he's not always outside, and they're definitely getting them when I'm not outside because obviously I would protect my daisies. If
daisies?
They were. Huh. So something's getting them, and it's
hummingbirds?
very frustrating. We don't have any hummingbirds,
no?
And we don't have a bird feeder. You're normally only going to get hummingbirds if you have that sugar
around.
water.
Yeah, we have a feeder. That's why we get them around. Yeah.
So there you have it. I should have made
Look
that the pest of the day instead of the April Fool's.
Maybe there's a little punk ass kid in the neighborhood going around
our
ripping up daisies.
Fence. No, it's definitely some sort of animal. I don't think it's a bird. I think it might be.
You got
a
ring,
squirrel.
like the ring video?
We don't have.
Yeah,
I probably shouldn't say that on air.
No,
we
do.
don't have cameras. We have lots of cameras.
We got everything. Security galore.
I think I need a ring camera to see what is getting my daisies.
I got 2 big dogs. They're like ring and weapons at the same time.
There you have it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, that'll do it for us today. But yes, go see, wearing your Iceman gear, go see the Frangie Show at Liberty Landscaping. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow.